course, the meeting was held in private, and that there was, and this is a key point, I think there was no joint press conference or official statement from Trump for hours afterwards. And it tells you, I think, given his instincts as a showman, that Nobel Peace Prize medal or not, he was once again very deliberately sidelining Maria Corina Machado.
Now, the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, presented the US President Donald Trump in a gold-plated frame with her Nobel Peace Prize medal at an in-person meeting at the White House. She explained to reporters after why.
200 years ago, General Lafayette gave Simón Bolívar medal as a sign of the brotherhood between the United States and the people of Venezuela. The people of Bolívar are giving back a medal, in this case of the Nobel Peace Prize, as a recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
Well, the US president declined to endorse her. Her movement claimed victory in 2024's widely contested elections. Trump instead has been dealing with the acting head of state in Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez. That's Maduro's former vice president. Well, let's find out more now from Jon Bonfiglio, the Latin America correspondent. Jon, hello.
Hey, good morning.
I mean, it was quite a shocking moment yesterday that caused quite a lot of surprise for her to turn up and sort of huge smile with a very flattering note, give her medal, present her medal to the US president.
I mean, she knows what she's about, and it's all about leverage. For her, leverage within a potential transition of power in Venezuela, of course, brokered by the United States. As regards the medal itself, well, not the medal, the prize itself, of course, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee have made very clear that it's permanent and it's non-transferable. But of course, that didn't stop Maria Corina Machado mounting the medal and making a great display in private, mind. It wasn't a public show, of handing it to Donald Trump for his efforts.
Yeah. Can you remind us who she is and her influence?
Yeah, of course. So she's a long-standing figure from the Venezuelan opposition who's kind of widely regarded as being the sort of emotional, intellectual center point of the anti-Maduro, anti-Chavista movement. She didn't run in last year's, the 2024 summer election. She wasn't allowed to, she was barred, but nonetheless, she was still sort of the figurehead behind the movement. She is of the neoliberal right. So beyond the sort of the autocracy and the possibilities of a democratic transition in Venezuela, she's also politically aligned with Donald Trump in that regard. Trump said that she didn't have the support in Venezuela to lead the government, but she is hugely popular and both inside and outside Venezuela, as we saw yesterday in the chaotic scenes in Washington, which without even mentioning the elections in 2024, which there's nary a person on the planet outside of the Maduro regime, or what's left of the Maduro regime, that sort of thinks that her movement did not win that election, hands down.
Yeah, you say it was a private meeting. Do we know anything of what the dynamics were like?
Well, it's difficult to tell. Of course, we've got previous meetings. I mean, this is the first time they've actually met in person, but previous calls that they've had, previous conversations have seemed very, very warm. But I think there's some indicators from what took place yesterday. The first one is that the fact that Donald Trump had just that morning, a few hours before he met Maria Corina, he had a very courteous, respectful phone call with Nicolas Maduro's successor, Delcy Rodriguez, as well as the fact that, of course, the meeting was held in private, and that there was, and this is a key point, I think there was no joint press conference or official statement from Trump for hours afterwards. And it tells you, I think, given his instincts as a showman, that Nobel Peace Prize medal or not, he was once again very deliberately sidelining Maria Corina Machado. Make no mistake, yesterday's meeting between the two was a big defeat for the Venezuelan opposition.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the running of Venezuela. So Trump is dealing with Maduro's former vice president, as we've just been discussing. What is the state of play currently right now in terms of the plan for Venezuela?
Well, nobody really knows. I mean, he says Donald Trump says he and his administration are very happy to be working with her, with Delcy Rodriguez. Of course, given that she's sort of compliant, or we understand compliant with his wishes. He said after the call yesterday that she was a terrific person and that together they were making tremendous progress to help Venezuela stabilize and recover. But beyond the oil, there is very little in the way of brass tacks that we've actually learned as to what is taking place on the ground that is different in Venezuela, if anything.
Yeah, and what do the Venezuelans want? I mean, there's so much uncertainty.
Well, I mean, I guess what do we all want? Peace, stability, freedom, autonomy, very specifically in Venezuela, an economy not in meltdown. But of course, the big question, I mean, when this first happened, of course, Venezuelans were celebrating absolutely everywhere because they assumed that it would mean that it would be a transition towards a sort of politically free, stable, new Venezuela. But of course, none of that has taken place, nor is there any indication of that being in the plan for the future. So, of course, the big question is, do recent events get Venezuelans any closer to peace, stability, and some kind of economic wherewithal to move on with their lives?
Yeah. Jon, thank you for the context. Much appreciated. Jon Bonfiglio, the Latin America correspondent, on that meeting yesterday between Machado and Trump, where she gave him that medal that I say, gold gilded, with a very complimentary sort of statement about Donald Trump framed in it to President Donald J. Trump, in gratitude for your extraordinary leadership in promoting peace through strength, advancing diplomacy, defending liberty and prosperity. Will he help do all of those things for Venezuela?